And it looks like we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Alexi. I'll be the MC of this game. We are here playing Checkpoint Midnight, Waltz of Treachery, Season 3, Session 2. So this has been a quarterly game organized through the Gauntlet Gaming Community, and we are on the third and final of these 3 seasons. So it's all climax from here on out, folks. Never a dull moment. The game has been organized through the Gauntlet Gaming Community. You can find out more about the Gauntlet at gauntlet-rpg.com or on Twitter at GauntletRPG. It's a gaming community that has many games hitting the calendar each and every month. Checkpoint Midnight is but one of them. So, as I said, Checkpoint Midnight, our game, is a game of supernatural espionage, a game about fantasy operatives in Cold War Vienna. We've been playing this for a little while. We've built up a whole mythology to this series. I'm excited to see some things start, colliding and exploding here. If you are excited about Checkpoint Midnight, an in-development game, you can follow along as I continue playtesting and working on this game by following me on Twitter at Cloven Pine Games, or by signing up for the Checkpoint Midnight mailing list at bit.ly/Checkpoint Midnight list. So that's a capital C, a capital M, and a capital L. I'll put a link below the video for that. Without further ado, though, let's start introducing our players for this evening. So first, folks, let's go across, kind of character keeper order left to right, but just tell us about who you are as a player. With your name, your pronouns if you wish, online handle if you so desire, and anything else you'd like to add here just about you. So Puckett, tell us about yourself.
Hi there, I'm Puckett. I use he, him pronouns. Moving right along.
Very good, very good. Leandro, you're up next.
Hi, yeah, my name's Leandro. I use he, him pronouns, and apparently today is National Eat a Hoagie Day. Do your best, folks, I guess.
Round here, we call those Subway sandwiches. No, actually, hoagie is a pretty valid term in New Jersey. Next up, Mark, Kai, tell us about yourself.
I'm known as Mark and as Kai. You can find me online at Kai the Gamer. It's XAI the Gamer. I help organize an event called Camp Nerdly, and even though we can't meet this year, we are trying for a January convention, much like the online gaming convention the Gauntlet ran real recently. So look forward to that. And based off of what happened last month, I have to say that I was hoping to hear more about bees. Puckett, you promised me something about bees, and it didn't happen. So a little disappointed there. I'm excited to play tonight.
Only so many fun facts we can fit in here. That is super cool, though. I will keep an eye out for updates about Camp Nerdly online because I've heard wonderful things about the in-person version of that convention. So exciting that a version's still going forward. Last but not least, Jesse, please tell us about yourself.
Yes, I am Jesse. My pronouns are he, him, and where I come from, it is called a sub if it is cold, or a grinder if it is hot, but it is never called a hoagie.
We're all learning exciting new things today. Speaking of excitement, let's learn a little about our characters. So, Puckett, going back over to you, will you tell us about your unburied character in this game and a little about where we last saw him?
Well, like I said in chat, apparently we're not getting any love for heroes here. I remember when they used to be called heroes. But, and not heroes.
Puckett, we could be heroes just for one day.
Yeah, I saw that. Leandro, I'm gonna have to find a My Chemical Romance B-side to quote at you in this session. So, yeah. Anyway, so tonight I'm playing Jack Hardesty. Jack is a soldier who died in combat and was subsequently resurrected, pieced back together by a bunch of different body parts by scientists in a lab. And he's very unhappy about this development. He doesn't like this. He was dead, happily dead. He had done his job. He had given his last full measure. And then somebody decided that wasn't enough and brought him back. So his goal is making sure that this never happens to anybody else, and killing the people responsible and finding a way to die. Simple man, simple pleasures.
Metal leg, though.
Yeah, that's less a leg and more just some tubing that they managed to bang into the shape of a leg.
But
Sort of.
But otherwise has held up remarkably well to a life crammed with adventure after his being stitched back together. We're gonna get to see Jack open up his dossier and embark on a little solo mission as part of our kickoff for tonight. So I'm very excited for that. But next up, let's meet another operative. Leandro, will you tell us about your artful character?
Yeah, so her name is Emilie Landau, uses she, her pronouns. Yes, she is artful in that she is possessed of strange talents, and she is favored because most of that talent involves supernatural luck gifted to her by a child of the night by the name of Victoria, who kind of whisked her away to a life of glamour and an adventure and intrigue and scoundreliness, I suppose, before kind of just dumping her in Vienna and being, oh yeah, you can watch out for yourself, right, Emilie? You've learned a lot, right? Sure, yeah, I'll just leave you here to flounder. Well, Emilie didn't flounder; she lived, and is kind of on the precipice of building up, just more influence, more connections, just a chance to be on top, I guess, and stay on top. Yeah, I think last session she exerted quite a bit of her luck. Kind of blew up in her face the first time she tried to actually control what she thinks are innate powers, and didn't really work out. So now she's just trying to figure out a way to get a new source for the things she can do. Good luck with that.
I'm very excited to see how this all goes, because we're hoping tonight to check in on the secret party happening at Lady Aurelia Falkirk's Manor, and Emilie has received a number of missions related to that from Victoria, from her her handlers on various sides of the Cold War, and perhaps she'll have her own agenda to pursue there as well. So looking forward to that. Let's meet Mark, your elemental character. Will you tell us a little about her? You're muted, I'm afraid.
There was a novel that I just created. It'll be on sale on Amazon next week. So I was saying that as a player, I was a bad pronoun giver, and the minor they, them. I'm playing Skye, and she uses she, her. Yes, she, her. Skye is a doctor, a Scottish doctor, and she met her first demise in the sewers of Vienna, and the people that did that have taken a ring from her, which has a portion of her soul, and but she came back, and she's a water spirit, a Rusalka. And she recently found out that dalliances in other foreign waters are not to be permitted. No one liked the fact that I left town. Of those the people that have the leash on me, and I found out that the Danube has the biggest leash of them all. And I waltzed into her arms last night and was dragged unceremoniously by another unburied working for Dr. Thorne, who is the individual who has my ring. So we'll see what happens.
We will indeed. Lots of people have beefs with Dr. Thorne, and let's see what exactly he's left as orders for Skye there after her dip in the Danube. Our other player, Jesse's had to step away, so we'll meet his character Joske probably when we pick up when we pick up with Joske scene. For the moment, let's turn to the dossier that Jack has opened. So, tell us a little about this, Jack. You've been working for folks on both sides of the Cold War, but you've apparently earned enough of an in with your CIA handler to open this dossier that he has. Can you give us just a sense of Jack's Jack's attitude as he does this, and then I will read what I've prepared for you here.
I'm looking forward to finding out who I need to kill. And Tripp's a good kid. Tripp did me a solid with this. He's probably going to take a little bit of heat for it, but as a handler, this is the sort of thing that you do when you want to maintain trust with an agent. And I think Tripp is actually going to be better than a decent handler. I think after working with me, he's going to be prepared for, just about anything.
Yeah, that's you've certainly been putting him through his paces as a handler.
Sitting him down at a table with a Russian, with somebody from the KGB, that's not really the thing you do as a low-level handler. So he's getting some advanced experience here.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I've got for you. It says, "Well, Jack, it's a moment of truth. Tripp, your handler, pleased with your recent work, especially your giving him actionable intel on Yelena Kosakova of the NKVD, agrees to call in a favor and let you see the CIA's file on you. It's a treasure trove. There's sub-files with name, rank, and other intel of the various people you're made of. And perhaps most interestingly, a summary about what's known of one Dr. Alistair Thorne. Once ostracized for his unorthodox experiments, Dr. Thorne found purpose as a key figure in the Prometheus Initiative, a secret multinational program to reverse death. The Soviet galvanization experiments were one offshoot of this, but it looks like they tried just about every way they could imagine to press poor old corpses like you back into service. Another item in this file, an address. Following it with all the skill you can, you find a waterfront apartment converted into a laboratory. Here there are schematics for, you, and a number of other abominations stitched together by the good doctor, represented among the schematics on the wall. There's also a file labeled Mackenzie, filled with reports about your activity in Vienna. Gordon has clearly been double dealing. The most dramatic item in the lab, however, is a wheeled hospital bed encased in a thick glass covering. Inside, hooked up to a number of machines attached to the bed, is a comatose young woman who looks exactly like the way death appears to you. The file next to her bed says Patient 00, Rosamund Thorne. Curiouser and curiouser. Now let's see if you got in without tripping an alarm. Roll plus operator. I guess I'll read these results so we know what the stakes of the roll here. On a 10 plus, you're good as gold. What are you going to do with the lab and its occupant? On a 7 through 9, you notice as you trip the arcane alarm system, so you're ready when another unburied soldier, that massive pale one you've tangled with before, a schematic on the wall tells you he's Brant, comes barreling at you. Mark a stress and get ready to rumble. On a miss, it happens too fast. Brant gets the drop on you. Mark a stress and a condition, and we'll pick up with Brant fleeing with Rosamund while you pull yourself together. So there we go. Any questions before we make the roll there?
Nope. I was just wondering why the... Okay, it's all better now. There were pages that were not populating in the character keeper. So, 2 moments here while I change my name back from what it was. So, rolling 2d6 plus nothing.
Plus nothing.
That's
yeah, operator
8.
is 0 here. Hey, so what that means is you there's some sort of arcane alarm system that you set off, but you notice as you do so. Any thoughts on what that is? Like, because we've seen before that Dr. Thorne's places are often heavily have protections like this, but is there something that clues you in that the alarm has been tripped?
It's a goofy little tripwire. I mean, this is, given the stuff that this guy has done before, I am honestly embarrassed for him. And honestly, I think that given how obvious it was, I probably just tripped it intentionally so he wouldn't feel so bad about it.
Just to see what will happen.
I mean, it was right there. Like, it was obvious enough that to have unintentionally tripped it would basically mean I have no business doing what I'm doing. So why not trip it? I mean, if I know it's a trap.
It's quite a philosophy. What seemingly what happens when you trip it is it summons Brant and he comes barreling in. Right, we've seen this character before. Kind of massive build, chalk white skin. A bunch of scars, a sort of more obviously undead than even you are, Jack, right? Like you can pass when you wear a trench coat and clomp around the city. This guy, people will be crossing the street to avoid him definitely, and he's
noticeable.
He's noticeable, and he's coming right at you. But you tripped it on purpose, so you're not caught by surprise here. You're marking just one stress as this confrontation is brewing. But I'm going to ask you, what do you do?
I'm going to pull out the shotgun that I had underneath my. Wait a minute. Is there anything I can do with my code name here?
Interesting. As in use the code name for, like, kind of rewind and use the code name for the dossier, because I feel like that's a kind of before you roll deal.
Yeah, like no. I mean with Brant.
Oh, interesting. Well, basically anything that you're about to do, you can give leverage to a handler to roll with your code name instead of the regular label, as long as there's some justification for why your training or your orders or what you've gleaned from that side of the conflict is going to help you.
I mean, Tripp gave me the dossier.
Gave you the dossier.
Wouldn't he want to know what the heck is here at this address?
So yeah, so you're gonna give Tripp a leverage to roll with your dead man label.
Yeah. And then what do I want to do here? I have a really, really weird idea.
Let's hear it, Jack.
Can I offer comfort to Brant?
I think so. I'm interested in seeing that. I don't think that can necessarily be the first thing you do, because the trigger for the move is when you offer comfort to someone willing to listen. And at first he's just charging at you as an intruder, right?
Okay. What about making a stand?
You can certainly try that first. Yeah. If you're just trying to get him to if you're trying to sway him to not immediately attack you, but to hear you out.
Yep.
What does that look like?
I have old wounds as well. So I'm literally just going to rip open my shirt and say, look at us. Do you really want to fight me, or do you want to fight the man who made us?
Okay. Old wounds gives you an advantage on this, I see.
So I'm rolling with 3d6, taking the best two.
Yeah, and you're doing the code name on this, you said.
Yeah, this is not going to get me a failure, I don't think.
Yeah, you decide what you're doing, but yes, if you're using the code name and the old wounds move, you're rolling with.
Oh Jesus, that's boxcars.
Okay. On a hit, you command their attention and you don't have the you don't have the 7 through 9 drawback of old wounds here. Yeah. Okay. So we're in this lab, and like as this other unburied is like charging towards you, Jack just decides to show right their solidarity. Right? They're both these stitchwork beings, right? And he like stops dead in his tracks, staring you up and down. He says, You've been causing so much trouble for the Master.
Now listen here, old boy. 1, there are no gods. 2, there are no masters. You were dead. You were at peace. So was I. Wouldn't you rather be at peace again?
He's kind of like shaking his head, saying, You don't know anything. You don't. Of course there's gods. The Master put a little piece of one inside of me. And you know what? I'm going for make a stand on a 10+. If they don't follow your lead, they have to show more of themselves than they meant and lower their guard. And that's what I'm going for. Like you've paused him. I'm not sure you've convinced him to like turn against Dr. Thorne, but he is showing more than you would expect as he like opens up like a flap on his chest to show where there's this kind of piece of like weathered stone where his heart should be. And I'm going to say you get leverage on him from that, because when an NPC lowers their guard, by default you get leverage. So go ahead and mark a leverage on Brant, this other unburied.
Okay. And is that BRANT or BRANDT?
BRANDT.
Okay. So now I'd like to offer comfort.
What does that look like?
Listen, I know it's hard. To be at peace and then come back to this world. To be the way we are. I mean, Brant, I walk around this city and I see people, and I know that I'm not like them. I can't be with them. I can barely be near them. I am something that does not belong here. I am something unnatural. And all I want is to rest, and for all of our kind to be able to rest. That's what we deserve. It's what we earned. It's what we fought for. And instead, we're staggering around this town because someone had a bad idea and nobody stopped them. And I want to stop them from making any more of us.
Yeah. He sits down. He's clearly mulling this over. So I'll say he is willing to listen, and you get to roll to offer comfort.
All right. And that is with Dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus. That's 10 on the dice plus 2 is 12.
On a hit, you are both steadied and can clear a condition or a stress. NPCs will credit you for supporting them. On a 10+, take leverage over the person you comfort. So another leverage here. And
I removed the stress that you just put on me for tripping the alarm.
Yeah. Did you have one stress before the dossier or no?
No, I went in clean.
All right.
So I
Yeah.
now have 2 leverage on Brand.
Yeah, there's a strange noise, like a keening cry, and you realize Brant is weeping. Like he brings up his like big, chalky hands, and covers his face, and you see little brackish gray tears dripping down and pooling on the floor. And he says, "You're right. We shouldn't be here like this, but the master has to save her." And he like puts a hand out onto the glass case covering Rosamund Thorne.
I'm going to look over the file there. And I'm expecting that I'm probably not going to notice anything much. But is there a phone in the room?
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure there's a telephone somewhere in this room.
I'm going to call the checkpoint and see if Skye happens to be around.
Okay. That sounds like a good place to cut away from this scene, and then we'll see Skye if you return to the checkpoint. No, there's the possibility of someone saying like call for you, right?
Yep.
I want to check in with Joske since we didn't get to hear the intro yet. So Jesse, now that you're back, tell us just a little about your character Joske.
Yes. So Joske is a Jewish Holocaust survivor originally from Poland, who survived the camps and kind of kicked around both before and after the war, kind of kicked around Europe and the Eastern Mediterranean, trying on various different causes and ideologies. But he's become sort of disaffected from all of them, and has settled into what I've been calling Epicurean nihilism. When Jack has been talking a lot about how he just wants oblivion, and Joske's like, but things taste so good and feel so good. Also terrible. Lots of things feel awful as well. But there's nothing afterwards, and there is some pleasant stuff here, despite what he's survived. Really all he cares about at this point is killing Nazis. And in particular, a set of Nazis who are conspiring with nightmare elves to bring the nightmare realm and the fatherland close together, overlapping, and thereby making it a fit place of dwelling for the master race. It's really the stuff of nightmares. It's horrific. And he had at the end of our last session, he's had some ups and downs. He's currently his CIA handler is also his handler for the Realm of Night,
Yes.
whom he started working for recently. He also has a Soviet handler that he has to deal with sometimes. But anyways, there were some people who haven't been waking up, probably because they're being seeded by nightmare elves or something. He's not sure. So he went to check that out and slipped into their dreams, only to be basically caught by the nightmare elves and only able to slip away with the help of a token gifted him by Emilie's ex, Victoria, who's an old friend.
Who isn't an old friend?
And a cousin, daughter, sibling, some relation to Knight, who is my boss. And so I slipped out of Nightmare and into the Realm of Night to try and find safe haven with Victoria. there's some kind of a guardian I need to face first, I think.
Yes, that's correct. So the way that roll went, you rolled the result where you encounter a threshold guardian. So indeed, let's pick up with that. You got away, right? The nightmare elves thought they had you in their trap, and you were able to open up one of these shadowy byways to slip into it, heading towards that dark but opulent apartment that Victoria keeps there. I think though you're disoriented, right? Like it is a pretty unusual situation to be kind of caught in a nightmare, escaping through shadows and kind of stumbling towards this place you've been just once before, and kind of. You almost think it's just another shadow, but then it becomes clearly not a shadow as it's looming up over you, a massive shaggy bear with a growl seems to be like blocking your path. Joske, what do you do?
Here's my first question. How sentient is this bear? Can I tell? Do I know?
It's not obvious. It's
well,
a little.
I mean, I guess this is really a player level question, because if it's a person,
are you going to use "gotta stop meeting" like this on a bear?
If the bear is sentient, I think it's reasonable.
I've seen someone use this move on a dog.
If the bear is a person, I think I should be able to. If the bear is just an animal that wants to hurt me, probably not a friend. But if it's a sentient bear, we could be friends.
I mean, we are in the labyrinthine byways of the Nether Realm. It's it's not like a mundane bear just wanders in here. So yeah, I'll let you roll. To say you gotta stop being like this. I'll tell you.
I'm bad at operator anyway. They usually want to kill me. My old friends usually want to kill me.
Yeah, the bear's name is Medved.
Of course it is. Let's see what we got. That's a 10. Yeah. And they offer me comfort, even if it exposes them to danger, which it probably won't here. But now I have, Medved, old friend. How did you end up here? I know exactly how I know Medved. Medved and I mean, when Medved fought with the partisans, and I think I actually thought he went down in the operation when I was taken captive. So last time he saw me, I was like a fresh-faced like teenager, right? 16, 17 years old. And I thought the Nazis had killed him, so I'm thrilled. First of all, he's
got like a couple new scars across his face since you saw him before.
Yeah, and we definitely drank together. Probably not very good vodka.
Yeah. So the bear like kind of like the bear that was looming over you kind of like settles down so that his paws are on the ground and he's kind of like looking you up and down. Joske saying, "Joske, I thought you were dead."
I was very lucky not to be. Everyone else, didn't make it, but we don't. Maybe some other time we'll tell those stories. But now, happy reunions, and I pull a flask out of my pocket, and I it's probably like has to hold it between like two little claws, right?
Yeah, little delicate,
yeah. That's my flask. I say this is much better than the swill we used to drink. we used to drink in the Polish forests.
Here's to fallen comrades, he says, and like takes a drink.
Yeah, he passes it back to me. To fallen comrades. So are you working for Night now? Are you working for Death? Whose road is this exactly? I was on the run. I know where I'm going, but not exactly where I am.
Winter.
This is also Winter's realm?
No, Winter is visiting.
Oh. I don't like we don't I Winter's visiting. That I don't know how that bodes for me. Visiting Night, visiting Death.
Visiting Victoria.
Visiting Victoria. I'm also on my way to Victoria's. How do you know Victoria?
Boss is an old flame of hers.
Oh, she is a heartbreaker.
The bear nods sadly.
Mm-hmm. If I want to catch up with you, how can I reach you? I was certain you were dead, but I don't know that this is the best time.
Yeah. So I think the bear agrees. You know, he's on the job. You know, he's supposed to be guarding here. But he says if you he says if you go to the coldest part of the city and pour him a drink, he'll meet you there.
Yeah, excellent. I look forward to catching up in our off hours, and I toast him one last time, and I head to Victoria's.
Perfect. I may cut away at this this moment, but thank you so much for that. Skye, let me check in with you. You got hauled out of the Danube and like sort of unceremoniously tossed this briefcase last time. We'll say you've had a little time to gather yourself and presumably check out what's in that briefcase, yeah?
Yeah. I do have to pause and just for a moment take in that whole scene that we just saw. Just okay. I think I can move on.
Wonderful. Yeah. So if you open up the briefcase that the creature we now know is called Brant threw at you last time, you'll find there's a bunch of photographs in it. They're photographs of Emilie going about the city. Several of them are taken with through the scope of a sniper rifle with the crosshairs around her head. And at the bottom there's a note in that that style that Dr. Thorne has used to communicate with you, right? Like a crossword puzzle with incorrect words filled in all over, that says, "No more games. Get me the apple by tomorrow night, or the pretty little thing dies."
Okay.
Yes.
Someone's finally playing their hand. All right.
So Skye, a message from Dr. Thorne with orders. What do you do?
The last time I was involved with apples was when I was protecting the tree in the end of the first season. And I don't think I even know that Emilie took an apple or no, wait. Did she take an apple or did Ashley take the apple?
Emilie has an apple, yeah. I don't know if anyone else knows that Emilie has it, though. Emilie have you told anyone?
No, I didn't roll. I used my move to make a 10+ on taking that apple while the firefight was happening, and I don't think I've told anyone besides Constance.
Yeah. So your conscience knows. It's the fact you stole that apple is between you and your conscience.
I think what I'll do is I'll contact Emilie so that I can let her know what my handler wants me to do, and then enlist her help to find this apple.
Emilie, would Skye be able to find you at checkpoint midnight by any chance?
Yeah, I think where did we leave off Emilie? She had fondled the apple.
You learned some stuff about it.
Literally.
By using you're examining an interesting
learned some
object
stuff
move, yeah.
Yeah. So she's gone back to checkpoint C. Yeah. Just like she's changed her clothes and she's probably hoping that her Franz or whoever noticed her messing stuff there has already forgotten.
Oh right, right. Yeah, you
where
got
she
kind
can
of
run
pointedly
Skye,
asked to leave
sure.
the checkpoint last time. That's great. Well, yeah, if you're back there, we'll see if anyone takes offense. But clearly as I mentioned, the evening is coming up for that secret party at Lady Aurelia Falkirk. So have you dressed for the occasion already, or are you in not a party dress till later?
If this is kind of like the same night-ish, yeah, sure. I think she's probably dressed. So just so that's who.
Oh, nice.
That's what
okay.
Skye sees.
So what are we picturing?
I say this now, and I'm bad at dresses.
You can just give us a color, right? Like,
yeah, dark blue. There we go. Dark blue, like a night sky.
Absolutely. So Emilie is at the checkpoint when you check in to see if you can find her. Skye, what do you do?
So the first thing that I do is I take a tentative step inside and I look to make sure that all the water isn't rumbling because I don't want to be immediately sent right back out. I assume that I have quelled the river's jealousy, at least for the moment.
You took a hit to do it. So yes, I think the river. I think one water bottle kind of burbles a little bit as if in reassurance that things are better between you now.
Oh God. Oh, she knows where I am all the time. Okay. So I grab a cowboy hat, throw it on, head back out to the back garden seats, ready to read a paper and wait for Emilie to show up. And I guess she's here already. And
yeah,
I think Skye stops in her tracks when she sees you addressed as you are. But it's a momentary pause, and then she walks up and sits down. She's in a standard suit, no tie. She's already taken off her trench coat and left it at the door. Well, do we have a date this evening?
Not exactly, unless you call having to hobnob with some little bit of cloister of old rich wannabes who like to, pass around funky artifacts and take a hit of whatever power they've got. If that's a definition of a date, then yes, that's my date.
And she looks shocked for a moment, and then she responds, "Well, that is exactly what I wanted to talk to you about." And whisper, whisper, your life's in danger. Whisper, whisper, there's an apple. Maybe it's at this party that you're going to, if there's artifacts being passed around, maybe one of them has it. Could you look for it for me? And do I have like leverage over you? I don't remember.
I think you do. At some point, everyone has leverage over me. Yes, you do.
Yeah. But how do you respond to that? How do you respond to that?
Ooh. You mentioned, life's in danger, and at first Emily's just like, well, I do that. I put myself in danger. I mean, come on, this is gonna happen. You rescued me from in danger. It's just gonna happen. But then you mentioned an apple. And then she kind of looks at you seriously and it's like, this Dr. Thorne, he's the one you're looking for, right?
Well, yeah, long term, but I can't really stand any more displeasure of his. It is destroying me with the pain.
Is there no way of breaking that connection?
If I could get my ring back, I'm certain of it.
I just think like, there must be some kind of loophole, some kind of little twist. Maybe we can redirect the connection to something else, someone else. Even like a day or two, there's give enough time to track this asshole down, because I bump the policy of not letting anyone who wants to shoot me in the head be able to do that.
Love that policy.
Yeah.
I know he's on a boat, but I don't know much more than that.
Isn't the water your playing field? It's her. You're a goddess in that water. In water.
The longer I take looking for him, the more likely it is this is going to become fatal. So I don't care about this apple. I don't think you care about this apple. If I could do that to get some time, to get back in his good graces, so that I can track him down.
Are you exerting leverage, Skye?
I don't know what move I'm doing. But that sounds like one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So when you're exerting leverage on a PC, you can remove one option from the relevant list. So that's we're looking at when leverage is used on you, since it's a PC that's the target of the leverage. You can find this in the basic moves.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask for to specify exactly what Skye wants?
Yeah.
Because there's an easy out for Emilie here if Skye just says, "Can you help me look for this apple?" Because she doesn't know that Emilie has it. But I'm gonna put the screws on Emilie. Otherwise, it's just an easy XP from
I think she's asking you to help her find the apple. Yeah.
Okay. So there has to be a result at the end. Okay.
I mean, Skye, what do you think? What exactly are you asking?
I'm begging her to help me find this apple.
Let's use that word.
As a reminder to the audience, we both care too much about each other. So
of course we do. Okay. If I remember correctly, what Emilie found out about the apple last session was it's not good right now, but if planted, it might bear fruit.
The apple could possibly cure. The apple has kind of a panacea quality. And if you planted it and grew a new tree, you might get the eternal life apples that that are what people are most excited about from the tree of the Hesperides.
So either way, it can't really help with Emilie's problem of replacing her source of luck.
It gave her something when she cut off a little slice of it and ate it. That was a really surprisingly good roll. So you've got You've got something from it there.
Yeah.
And Skye, what option are you removing from the list here? Because basically the when you exert the leverage, they can comply and take an XP, or they can pick one from the list below. And since you've got, I think, one leverage, you can just take one of those options off the table.
Okay. I guess I'm going to take away the weasel out option.
Yeah, no weaseling out. So, Emilie, what do you do?
I think like Emilie like thinks it over. I should say that she has a coat that she kind of has on her chair, and Skye looks proper desperate. I assume.
Oh yeah.
All right. That just makes it easier for me. Like Emilie will like sigh and she'll reach into her coat and she'll pull out a small golden apple.
What? Holy!
Don't. We're this is neutral territory. Don't make a fuss.
I know. Like I'm covering your hand. I'm like, put this away. Oh, shit! I'd have believed you.
Look, it wasn't my most proud moment getting this. In fact, it's not something I really want to think about. I was just I have problems that need rectifying, and I thought the apple might help with that. But in the equation of the world, your problems are more pressing than mine. So take it. And it's legit. I've tested it.
She's dumbstruck. This is the third time tonight you've stunned her. She, training kicks in and the apple's gone. Like no one's it's in a pocket somewhere, having been rapidly transferred. I figure with weapon 2, that's a no brainer for me. I'm getting it out of sight. How can I repay you for?
Save yourself first, then we'll talk. And I think at that point, a server comes over and says to you, Skye, "Miss, a telephone call for you."
And she looks at him like he has stalks growing out of his head, and then clears her vision and says, yes, Emilie, I will get back to you. I owe you." And she walks off towards the telephone.
Nice. Let's take a little break there, and we'll pick up and see where all our characters go in, say, 10 minutes.
Cool.
All right. See you all in 10.
I'm back, Alexi.
Marvelous. Leandro, are you back? Oh, then we're all here. Huzzah! Yes. Let's check back in with Jack. Jack, Brant is overcome by emotions after you have offered him comfort. You're here in the laboratory of Dr. Thorne, and you've placed a phone call to Checkpoint Midnight, and after a little moment, you hear Skye's voice on the other end. What do you say?
Skye, I need a doctor.
Oh God, how many times were you shot?
It's not for me. Do you remember my friend Dr. Thorne?
I don't like the use of the word friend, but yes.
Well, I wasn't using it literally. I'm in his laboratory.
You're what?
I'm in his laboratory, and I need a doctor because
he's nearly dead and you have this pang of guilt?
no,
Ah.
but his wife is here in some sort of stasis chamber, or at least I presume it's his wife. It's a woman with the same last name.
You based on the age the file says for Dr. Thorne, you would guess it's probably his daughter.
Daughter, relative, let's say. So I need a doctor because I'm looking at this chart and I don't understand any of it. And we might also need somebody to move this. Also, I made a new friend for us.
How
Do you remember the large, very pale fellow from the warehouse?
Now you're using friend literally?
Yeah, he's quite nice. He's been through a lot, just like most of us.
Oh, okay, I get it. There's a gun to your head. Yeah, I'm playing along. What do you need me to do?
Skye, there's no gun to my head. I am being
course there
quite
isn't.
literal. There is. His name's Brant, and he's quite a lovely fellow once you get to know him, once you get to sit down and talk.
So it's possible, Jack, you're making a stand to convince Skye that, like, no, really,
Yeah, I'll roll.
Yeah.
God damn it, that's boxcars.
Those dice are loaded, huh? Okay.
That is boxcars before adding Dreamer.
On a hit, you command their attention. PCs who follow your lead can clear a condition or mark XP. On a 10+, if they don't follow your lead, they have to show more of themselves than they meant and lower their guard. So that clarifies your options, Skye. What do you do?
I can't believe you're telling me the honest to God truth.
Yeah. I'm in his lab. There is a woman here in a stasis chamber. I can't read her medical chart. And the large pale fellow from the warehouse and I have been chatting, and he's quite a lovely chap.
Wow. This is
I attract strays, Skye.
Stunning revelations. I need an address or some directions.
And I will provide the address that I'm at.
I'll find my way there.
And if you happen to run anybody else, please bring them along, because frankly, I would like to take everything that is here and move it to someplace else. So we could use a truck.
And Brant is going to help us.
Of course. He's with us. Look, Brant and I showed him my scars. He showed me some of his. We had a talk.
Disgusting.
Excuse me. Don't. I didn't ask to be like this.
Oh, sorry. I just you went that place that guys go to when they share the size of each other's. I just thought that's what you were talking about.
No, I was actually literally talking about scars, like showing him where my head had been stitched onto my torso and my arm had been stitched onto my torso and so forth.
I wish I knew the difference between literal and not literal in your voice, but I'll see if I can find a truck. Yeah.
I'm sure Trip has one. If not, Timothy, maybe? We know enough people that somebody has to have a truck, or at least
Sure.
access to one.
Surely. I will make it happen.
Lovely. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, Skye, you're heading over.
I'm finding a truck and heading over.
Are you going to grab Emilie on your way, or?
I think they. Well, I guess that's up to you.
She has a party to go to. I don't think I'm going to stop her from doing that. She's probably already, in my mind, she's already gone before I get done with the phone call. But
Yeah, that works for me if it works for you, Emilie. I don't think you need to roll to find a truck, unless you have a burning, a mechanic you want to engage to do this. But I feel like this is just you get a little montage of Skye, finding this vehicle and then driving it over to the laboratory.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I don't have a vehicle. Maybe I finally just break down and go and buy one from an old guy at the market or something like that. Like, I've walked by this cart 100 times, and like I can tell that this truck's gonna die soon, and I
So you
pay
pay him
too much for it.
way more than it's worth, and he
Right.
feels like, I'm really getting one over on this lady, selling her this on its last legs truck.
Yeah. It's a pale blue truck with lots of rust on it, and it'll serve. It'll do. So let's see. Is it configured the way that I want to drive a vehicle? I guess, does Europe and Scotland have the same? I'm just trying to figure out if it's a frustrating drive or if it's a calm drive.
I mean, it sounds like it's a frustrating drive because the truck is about to give out, if for no other reason, right?
Okay, then I'm going to say that it's also on the wheels on the wrong side of the vehicle.
Nice.
So I have to use my right hand to shift gears instead of my left hand.
So is your plan just to go on up to the address you have from Jack and meet him there?
Yeah, I mean, I pull into an alleyway.
Yeah.
But out so that we can load things if we're going to load things. But I'm just amazed tonight. Tonight is not what I was expecting.
I think Skye, given that it's you, a person who Dr. Thorne holds a bit of the soul of, turning up at his lab, there may be security in place. So I'm going to ask you to infiltrate the area. We'll see. We'll see if you evade anything Dr. Thorne has waiting for one of his thralls trying to turn up here.
Let's see. The move is infiltrate.
Yeah, infiltrate a restricted area. Say if you're using stealth or force.
Okay. Roll operator for stealth, weapon for force.
I'd like to aid.
Basically being like, oh, hey, watch out for the tripwire on the phone call.
Right. Well, I mean, the dossier probably clued me in on some security measures.
Even the more mystical ones. Yeah, I buy it. Yeah, if you mark a stress, Skye can roll with advantage on this.
When it says roll weapon for force, it makes me sound like I'm going to trip it anyway, but I'm just going to move past it. I don't know, like, I guess as a player, I'm very confused by the word like weapon for. I mean, that's like breaking down a door, right?
That's more like what that is. Yeah. So it sounds like the fiction maybe supports operator better here.
Okay. All right. That's too bad because weapon's my best stat. So I was trying to figure out how to use that, but that doesn't make any sense.
Here's a thought. You just kind of walk right in like you own the place. You don't bother like stop to see if anything trips or whatnot.
No.
Not feeling it?
Yeah, I just like this is a night of surprises. Like she has to be prepared for it. All right. So roll with advantage then. Yes.
Yeah, 3 dice.
3 dice. Plus 0. That would be a 6.
And including the advantage. Great.
Yes. Without the advantage, it would have been a 4. So
it pushed it up a bit. I guess the only question is, do you have a code name? No. Am I right? You've not received a code name from any handler here.
I've never met any. I mean, I've met my Russian handler once, so in the fiction. So I'm not a very good agent.
You get to mark an XP.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you you make your way around, the alarms that Jack warned you about, right? And arrive in this lab and have a moment to take in that there's these there's this anatomical diagrams on the wall of like people that have been put back together, right? Jack, how did she find you? Are you just pacing and examining the room?
Actually, I've been taking everything down off the walls and trying to pack everything up so we can get everything in the truck as quickly as possible.
Yeah. As you step in, Skye, you spot Jack, you spot Brant. Brant looks at you.
I spot Brant first.
Spot Brant first. He's huge. Yeah, it's like Solomon Grundy looking guy, right? And then
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
He locks eyes with you, and like his mouth like opens super wide, and it seems like involuntarily this ear-splitting scream just emanates from him.
Take stress, take a condition.
Take serious harm.
Oh my. Okay.
Let's say roll plus stress.
Is there any way that I can aid in this roll?
Technically, I guess you could, because with advantage she would just choose a different set of dice. How are you stepping in to provide aid as things start going sideways here?
Brant, stop that! She's with us.
Yeah, it's like it's not clear he can like control this scream, right? Like it seems like it's something built into him, but like he, as you say this, he does like put his hands over his mouth and try to stifle it somewhat, I guess. So Skye, roll with one more dice here, and you pick the ones that you want on this as well.
Okay, so it is +1 roll.
Yes, because you've got 1 stress already.
Yeah. Okay, so a 3 and a 1 and a 1 would be 5.
That'd be a 5.
Yeah. Wow. That's not what I expected.
On a 6-, you're in the clear. Say how you managed to shrug off the blow, and I guess you should mark XP, because I feel like some of the moves I've modeled this one on, where it's reversed. You get to mark XP on the like the beneficial 6- even. So clearly the scream, right, is a sort of countermeasure to you specifically, but somehow you're able to deal with it. What does that look like?
I think my recent experience with the Danube taught me, like, it was screaming at me by just rushing water at me. Like it was deafening me. And I think I learned some resistance to it. I mean, it doesn't stop me from, like, cupping my ears with my hands, but it I don't know, it hardened me somehow. That's the best I think I can explain it. So
yeah, absolutely. So like you're not like staggered here, right? Like you're able to weather it, and kind of as Brant kind of gets control of his voice again, he says, "We have to be fast. He'll have heard that."
I knew this was a bad fucking idea. All right, let's lift. Can you pick this up on your own? She's pointing at the chamber. I guess that's like the biggest thing.
Brand,
So
can you? This lady is a doctor. We're going to try to get this woman some medical care. Can you carry this to the truck?
Let me double check here.
if not, you need to slow whoever's coming down to give us a chance to get out of here.
Jack, I know you've been working on Brant. I feel like directly asking him to take his charge out of this lab is a big ask. So I might suggest you use that leverage you've acquired over him.
All right, using the leverage. Okay. So use it how? Exert leverage.
Yeah, when you put pressure on an NPC, you hold leverage over to get what you want. Roll plus leverage you hold on them.
Okay.
So it sounds like you could roll with +2 with the 2 leverage you gained on Brant from your heart to heart, as it were.
Yeah. But I'm just looking at the exert leverage move. Do I actually need to roll?
So we're looking at when you put pressure on an NPC, you hold leverage over, which is over in the if you check out the basic moves tab, that has the latest
I'm
version.
looking at the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at the spreadsheet.
Sorry, leverage has changed a couple times. I'm still tinkering with it, but in the current version, you roll plus leverage when you are kind of putting pressure on an NPC this way.
Alrighty.
Jesus.
What the hell?
Brant kind of clearly like takes a moment to like come to a decision, but then like nods solemnly and reaches out and picks up the whole hospital bed, right, and like the kind of attached machines that come with it, and he'll hustle to put that into the trunk. There's some kind of like alarm, right, going off as he lifts it up, but he will load that for you. Jack, you were like just piling up all of the like diagrams and things to bring them out of there.
I was putting them in whatever crates I could find or whatever boxes I could find.
There's like there's a bunch of weird stuff in here, right? There's like those like Van der Graaf generators. There's kind of grimoire looking texts. Are you just grabbing every single thing as far as that you can see in the lab?
I'm grabbing all the documentation I can find.
Mhm.
Grenades should take care of the rest of it.
Oh, I see. Skye, what are you doing?
I think I'm at this point. I'm just attached to Ms. Thorne's side, right? Like I'm watching the medical equipment. I'm trying to flash read the documentation and understand what this, war carriage taking someone like to wherever we end up taking them, like I just trying to understand. Like I'm in medic mode. I'm just in medic mode at this point.
Are you possibly deciphering the person or situation here?
Oh, sure. If I've got the ability to do so, absolutely.
It sounds like that might be what's going on. Yeah. So it's a plus operator role because you're clearly using your doctor senses.
Okie doke. Operator is a 0, and I got a 9. Wow.
You get to ask a question from the decipher list.
How can I best keep her safe and alive? Oh, there's a list. Sorry. Let's see.
I'll mark another stress if you want to bump that up to a 10. Or if you want to try rolling another dice to get it up to a 10.
I'm trying to get more answers here.
Wouldn't I have to roll a 5 or a 6?
Yeah, it's your call, both of you, whether you think this is plausible, but
yeah,
it's a slightly long shot that the advantage even helps.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But if you want to do it, that's fine. I'll try. It's up to you, Pocket.
Nah, let's just go ahead.
Okay. Ask one question. What danger am I overlooking?
Oh, interesting. Danger to her specifically? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are a lot of machines attached to this young lady, and so some of them look like pretty unfamiliar to you. You get the sense, like flipping through her file, checking her as best you can through the kind of the glass surrounding this hospital bed, that she's been in this kind of comatose state for quite a while, and Dr. Thorne has been doing a lot of work to kind of like keep her kind of perfectly preserved here, right? But some of that depended on the broader array of things in his laboratory. So there's a danger that her kind of condition will worsen without being some kind of connection to a pretty large source of power.
Okay.
Are you like with her in the back of the truck and like having Jack drive it this time, or are you gonna like hop forward? Okay, cool.
Hey Jack, it's on your side, so you can drive it easier than me. I want him to take. Is there a water plant attached to the water system here? Like, is there a hydroelectric?
Oh, plant? Sure. I'm not going to say no to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to take her there to the bowels of the hydroelectric plant so that I can have enough power that no one's going to notice me using. Someplace that I've scoped out before. I have a move about the hidden, like the hidden byways of the water system.
Oh yeah, and you could absolutely. We've interpreted your Thread the Maze move as more of a.
It's not on my sheet. Yeah, I did Thread the Maze.
You did take it at one point. It must have gotten lost along the way. That's all right.
There are multiple. It's amazing. Sorry.
Joske has thread the maze and has been using it for these kind of night passages. But if we want it, like I liked when we used it as the sewer system that Skye navigates. So happy for you to roll it. I remember when you took it. I don't know how it got lost here.
Yeah, me neither. Okay.
I just got to say that is cool as hell. I mean, that is a fantastic way to interpret that.
Thanks. So I guess I roll operator, which is a 0. I got a 7. Woohoo!
Really enjoying this operator getting a workout here. Yeah, when you navigate the labyrinthine byways that link this city and the Nether Realm, tell us your goal and roll plus operator. And a hit your goal is within sight. On a 7 to 9, you encounter a threshold guardian. So that's great. So the truck is like weaving through back alleys of the city, like navigating by like Skye's connection with the water below to find its way to a hydroelectric plant, and kind of as you approach, there's just an ordinary Soviet military checkpoint in the way, right? Like you find in a city like this. There's just a place where like all vehicles are being stopped and searched by Soviet military police. So that's the threshold guardian, and we'll cut away and see how we deal with that.
Okay, great. I want to go to this party. I want to see this party.
Emilie, are you doing any other prep before? Oh, actually, I do want to check in with Joske, because Joske, you were just visiting Victoria, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to sort of like hand away. Like that was mostly my escape route, So like I having a scene with Victoria in winter would be cool, but also if we want to like get to the party, I'm happy to kind of like hand wave it away so that we can get to the thing that we want the session to be about. Also,
let me give you a sense of probably what you saw, and you tell me if there's there's things you want to ask of Victoria along the way. As you arrive, someone else is leaving Victoria's apartment. A woman in white with red hair. Viewers will recognize her as Malashka, but she's in like no mood to stop and chat with random mortals finding their way through this realm.
Yeah, with her ignoring me, I nevertheless bow deeply.
Always good to be respectful. Yeah, and Victoria,
I know who she is now.
Victoria greets you. If you tell her what situation you're fleeing from, she's kind of also concerned to hear what the Nightmare Fae are up to.
Yeah, I actually think I do. I think I do give her a kind of like impassioned speech, like just trying to impress upon her like how far things have gone. That this is like an entire tenement. The Nightmare Elves are pushing the boundaries. This is bad for Night. This is bad for Vienna. This is bad for everybody.
Are you getting a release move here?
Yes, this is
upon someone the dangers of the conspiracy. I buy it. Yeah, go ahead and check that off, and you can take an XP or clear a stress. All right,
take XP.
I think the upshot is that Victoria tells you she's worried that these conspirators you're concerned with are seeking power over the noble order of the Silver Eye, and she'll say they're having a party this evening, and she's hoping that Emilie will fulfill the mission she's been given. Maybe she says, if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, remind her that we have a timeline here, a timetable.
Oh, she's gonna love hearing from you through me. I'm sure that's gonna be her favorite thing that happens tonight, Victoria. Are you sure you don't want to come?
If I must take matters into my own hands, but I'd hoped not to.
Not for work. Not for work. It's a party.
I'm afraid this party will involve some work.
Okay. Well, we did go dancing the other night. I feel. I suppose I can cut. What do the Americans say? I can cut a rug. And I say that in English, right?
And she laughs.
I can cut a rug without you, and I do a little soft shoe.
Joske, you are such a character.
Mm-hmm. And yeah,
if that's all you want to
accomplish with me, yeah,
happy with that.
Me.
Emilie, you doing anything else to prep for the exclusive party?
Well, I'm bringing two things: the dagger and the piece of Stygian blue dreams. Who knows if that might come in handy, for whatever reason. Other than that, I'm not bringing anyone. It sounds like. I'm sure Joske has his ways, but I don't know. I don't care about that. Emilie doesn't. I care, but Emilie doesn't. Yeah, I don't think she's planning anything else. She doesn't really plan because I don't plan. So,
okay. So you turn up at this this exclusive gathering in your sky blue it was a dark sky blue dress.
Yeah, night sky specifically.
And with your hidden away piece of the Stygian blue painting and your shadow edged dagger. There's we've said this was a very exclusive gathering for the kind of the most prestigious members of the Noble Order of the Silver Eye. I think you have to show the invisible ink invitation at the door, right? And like someone minding the door, shines a black light on it to like confirm that yes, you're really invited, and they usher you in to a kind of it's just the lights are lower than the last party you were here. Like everything's just the decor emphasizes that this is more secret and more exclusive. What other ways has it been kind of sort of what other ways has the party like been made ostentatiously secret as far as the way the mansion's been decorated, Emilie?
For some reason they've added suits of armor. They weren't there last time. But they're here now.
All I'd put all along the walls these these suits of ornate armor, absolutely, like with the halberds.
Actually, while I'm kind of like in this in between before getting to the actual party, while skulking around, I'm going to try to fulfill one of like the 5 million missions that I was given. I think this one would be the one I got from the Americans. To break down the wards. I'm gonna try to like at least slip away for a moment. I'll come to the party first. Talk, hobnob, make some jokes about Benedict Boggin or other references. But at some point, I'm gonna try to slip away and start breaking down these wards.
Okay, so you want to like secretly in the midst of this this party, go ahead and like deface the mystical wards above the doors and lintels of the house.
Yes, and I am going to use this code name I just picked up because I took an advance, thanks to giving Skye that apple. See, I had my ulterior motives. And
you've got an American code name now.
Yeah, because giving Skye that apple means that her doctor friend won't be looking for the apples that the CIA took. So, that just makes sense. Of course, I didn't tell George that I already had an apple. I'm just, but yeah, I got the code name Gremlin, which is
fitting for sabotage.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna I'm fulfilling a mission that he asked me to do. And having that love letter roll I did last session, does that give me anything? Because I just know where it is, so that I can do this.
Oh yeah, you got to ask a like decipher type question about the wards, or I don't think it explicitly gave you advantage.
Okay, cool. Just
So
want to know.
it sounds like this might be a get spooky roll, given that we're messing with magic here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. So if I'm using my code name, then I'm giving George some leverage. Yes, Emilie.
I will mark that.
Yeah. Cool. So roll. It's spooky. +3. Of course. They're all a 2 and a 1. That's amazing.
Wow. Even with the code name, that is a miss.
Yeah. Is it? Because like I have that roll move, but I don't think I can use my roll move after I've rolled. Can I?
I would. Yeah. No. I feel like that's
I'll take the miss. It's fine.
Well. First of all, take XP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think.
Miss. Yeah.
I think like what exactly were you doing to deface the the ward kind of runes?
He said you can just like add, it's like add some chalk markings, I think, if I remember correctly.
So you're chalking them up to like confuse the
Oh, not chalk, lipstick.
Okay. Just adding lipstick markings. We'll say you get one or two of them nice and defaced when like someone just like catches your wrist and you see Lady Aurelia Falkirk there saying, aha. So you are a little spy. Who you're working for?
Madam, we're in Vienna. Everyone's a spy.
It's not an answer to my question.
Well, not really, because spies, they usually just work for themselves. They'll move from one place to another. The question should be, who am I working for now?
So please, if you would, mark a condition.
Which one would that be?
It looks like you've got a couple new options here, since you've got humbled and chastised as your conditions that cut against your code names.
I think I'm being chastised. George didn't do shit for me with his training. So yeah, I'll take that. The nice thing with getting code names, you get more conditions. You got more space.
Yeah, a little more runway. Yeah. So she says, "I'm not here to play games. This is a very important gathering, and I'm not going to let some sneak like you ruin things." And she just like is like dragging you along with her towards who knows where. What do you do?
Time to fall back on my other plan, which is I am okay. She's dragging me with just one hand. Cool. I am.
I see in the chat Joske is interested in turning up, so we'll see. Let's see how Emilie's next action goes, and then quite possibly we'll bring you in.
I'm gonna use my other hand to like dip into where I've hidden Stygian blue dreams, and I'm gonna take a bit of it and draw a door underneath us. And
what? You draw a door with the like painting?
Yes, I mean that's just an opportunity for her to mess things up because I never succeed in rolls. But yes.
So okay, got it. So you're using the scrap of painting and just trying to like what, like kind of like basically drop to the ground and like draw it around you.
Yeah, draw it around us so that yeah. If I can take her with me because she's hanging on to me, cool. But basically, yeah, just put it in a spot where I might get an advantage on her. Not the mechanical advantage, but just the fictional advantage.
Just getting something, I see. Yeah, go ahead and roll plus Fable.
Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, I've also rearranged my stats, so I actually have something in Fable now. Cool. Let's see if this works. Oh, thank God, that's a 10.
Oh my goodness.
Imagine if that had failed. Okay.
Yeah, on a hit, the thing comes into existence fully operational. What are you? Where are you hoping this door goes?
I'm drawing it on the floor, so I'm hoping maybe some kind of basement.
Okay. And like it like, yeah, so it like swings open, like there's suddenly a trap door here. Thanks to you doing this. For a moment as you're falling through it, it looks like you've made a terrible mistake as as it seems like you're falling out of the world entirely into a kind of a black blue nightmare realm. But then you just land in a dusty basement. You were trying to drag her with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, she hits the ground and like moans. She's formidable, but she's an old lady. She's not used to getting like suddenly dropped through her own floorboards. You hear like from above the sound of commotion in the middle distance, like people heard something strange just happened. But yeah, we'll leave you having fallen through into the basement for the moment. Joske, you were interested in checking out this party, it sounded like.
Well, I mean, I think I was sort of if Emilie wanted, I was interested in sort of being in the scene. But we can. I'm happy to start out in the party. I know Skye also wants to be in the party, right? Skye was on her way, if I remember correctly. No.
No.
Did I misremember
I
that?
said I wanted to see the party,
that?
like as a player, not.
Oh, I thought Skye was on her way. My mistake.
No, I'm going to.
Anyways, yes, I would love to be at the party.
So.
Anyways, yeah. I would love to be at the party.
Isn't there like a Jan Clausen's going to be there?
Yeah.
At that time.
Oh, is Jan going to be there too? Oh, Jan and I have things to talk about. His late fiance just ambushed me.
Yeah, I think Emilie, you maybe never told Joske that you'd heard about Jan Clausen trying to make power plays amidst the Noble Order of the Silver Eye.
But talking to Joske, that sounds impossible.
We've both been busy since you found that out. Also, I don't think we've seen each other since. But yeah, I'm look. Victoria sent me there with a message for you. I would like a party. Parties are Joske's natural habitat.
Yeah. You see some fancy looking people walking into this mansion, and a guard is checking their invitations. I think the one thing is, Joske, no one actually invited you to this party. How do you plan to get in?
Well, the guard and I are old friends. I will roll this move with every NPC I see, given the opportunity. But also, this is just too obvious, right? I mean, how it might hurt me. But yeah, I think the guard and I are old friends.
Okay, yeah. So you just walk right out. He's ushered someone through who has an invitation. You walk right out. He sees you. He says, Joske, and then we'll roll and find out how this old friend feels about you.
Yeah, probably not great. They don't usually feel great about me. He wants me dead. He wants me dead, but I take an advance.
Amazing. Yeah, he says, Joske, I thought you were dead, you son of a bitch. And I guess the question is why?
Give me a name,
Hmm.
and I will give you a reason.
Yeah, I mean, probably this is someone who's kind of in Lady Aurelia's orbit. So a British.
And we're old friends too. I'm not sure how yet, but
we'll find out. Yeah,
we'll find out.
Probably, and he's kind of somewhat security here at the door. So let's say a British soldier.
Yeah, I mean, let's keep
Hardcastle.
Let's keep this real simple. I just beat the pants off him at cards. But in a really
everything
in like a really humiliating way. I was very drunk, and like I didn't have like he could have gotten up and left, and I goaded him to come back. Like it was kind of, and I think I suspect he's also personality wise the kind of person who holds a grudge and murders people whom he holds grudges against, even for and so I was a piece of shit to him. Emilie would understand that, and he didn't like it, and so yeah. What did we say his last name was? I might have taken Hardcastle. I think I did win his pants, and instead of returning them to him, I gave him a small amount of his money back to buy new pants, nicer pants.
So he had to find like the tailor shop that's
this was
this
was the final humiliation, right? I gave him the choice between his pants back and like a large sum of his money back that would like buy nicer pants, and forced him to choose. Joske is not always a nice person, and I think we've seen this play out a few times. This is one of those situations. Yeah. So I think he's justifiably pretty mad at me. What was it? Hardcastle. I say Hardcastle. Oh. How are you doing, old friend? And I clap him on the shoulder.
You're not working your tricks here. These are good people. Stay away from them.
I don't have any tricks at all. I have an invitation. And I flash my amulet at him, and I am going to be spooky. I'm getting spooky.
What are you hoping to like? What are you hoping the amulet will do here?
I think this is like a Doctor Who. What are the papers in that show called? That
the psychic paper.
Psychic paper, right? It will look like the thing it needs to look like to get me in, begrudgingly. He may still want to take something from me, but I think that's sort of what that's the play.
Yeah. Let's make a plus Fable roll. Let's see how that goes.
I'm good at Fable, right?
I think it's a +1 for you.
Yeah, I'm reasonable at Fable. That's a 7.
Okay. On a hit, the world warps to your will. So you do like come off as someone who has an invitation somehow. But you're gonna have to choose 2 from the kind of list of downsides for Get Spooky.
I'm just gonna mark a stress. Keep it simple this time. I think it's just like using that power is not always fun.
Yeah. You have to choose 2 from the Get Spooky list.
Oh, I choose 2. Oh,
you rolled a 7.
A 7. Oh dear. Hold on. That makes it harder. I'm still gonna do that. And then my powers do things beyond what I meant. Maybe now I really belong.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you you do this, like he kind of like does a double take. He's like, they really, I can't believe they want you here, right? And then like, someone just over his shoulder like turns round and says like, Joske, perfect, please, we've been waiting for you. And like, like gestures to like wave you in.
Who is it?
Let's you know what? It's someone you like vaguely recognize from the art auction, because it's Yelena Kosakova.
Oh, but we're old friends.
Oh, great.
I'm
You're
never
old friends with her too.
I'm friends with. I will never.
This is the danger of letting Joske go to a party.
Oh, but like the thing about this move is it makes everything more fun always, in my experience. It's never better not to be friends with a person. Either they, so let's just roll that real quick. Oh, she wants me dead too. She wants me dead too.
Cool. Let's take a break there,
good
and
idea.
We'll come back and find out what's going on for everybody. How about 10-ish minutes, and we come back at quarter of?
Mm-hmm.
All righty. All right, are we all back? Great. Let's check with Jack and Skye. The two of you or Jack rather. Jack is driving the truck. Skye is in the back with the patient. Brent probably in the back as well, given that his presence in the front would be a little suspicious for anything like this, where there's a checkpoint, right? There's just a literal checkpoint where Soviet soldiers are looking at people's papers and like looking in the backs of their vehicles, making sure that no one is kind of taking contraband out of the sector of the city. So Skye, or rather, I guess Jack, what do? You're the one driving.
Oh, this is a cakewalk. I'm going to drop Lena's name and my code name.
I see. So you're gonna let the Soviets know that you're someone not to be interfered with, since you have official business.
Yeah, I mean, and I am actually on. Lena doesn't know it yet, but I'm actually on official business.
I feel like, yeah, I was going to say that this is spinning off of a CIA job rather than something that's NKVD connected.
Well, yeah, but I promised her that she gets to kill Thorne. So, this is somebody that is clearly important to Thorne. We need to keep this person alive. We'll get to kill Thorne. Therefore, it's of use to Lena. I mean, easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah. So what do you? So you as guard raps on the window and takes you in and guesses and says in accented English, "Papers, please."
I reach into my wallet and I pull out some cash and I say, "These are my papers for this evening. I'm sure that Lena will vouch for me. Ask her about Troop."
This is a code name, and I think you're fast talking an NPC, maybe.
Sure, why not?
All right. So rather than operator, you get to roll with your code name Troop, which, as you explained to me, literally means corpse. But obviously,
Yeah.
There's a pun in that name.
There is indeed.
Yeah, go for it.
That's a miss. Finally,
Oh man.
I get to mark XP.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, mark XP, and and as you're saying this, the wristwatch that you're wearing, that the wristwatch from Trip, Bradley Bushwick the Fourth, kind of it crackles a little, and a voice comes out of it saying, dead man, we need you working security. I've been covering for you, but your watch starts now. And the Soviet police guy takes a step back and then starts shouting in Russian, and suddenly the truck's being swarmed by other officers from the checkpoint, and one of them's opening up the back.
Oh hell! I just floor it.
So you're just slamming your foot onto the gas pedal here.
Yep.
Sounds like an exfiltration with a force.
Yep. And so that's a weapon.
Yes. Do mark a stress for this for that little back and forth, as you attempted to bluff your way past you wanted to get past these guards, and your other handlers chose that moment to check in.
Alrighty. That's 11. Plus weapon is 2, so that's 13.
I guess flooring it works. Yeah, on a hit you make it. On a 10+, you get in or get out clean and land in a position of strength. Okay, so So we've got basically a little car chase here, right? Like there are Russians like clinging on to your vehicle as you start off, and then I'm sure like at least one like gives chase in a little Jeep, right? So Jack, how do you fully kind of lose them and arrive and get to your destination?
Well, first I yell at my watch, "I'm a little busy right now, Trip. I'll be with you soonest." And he can probably hear like yelling in Russian.
What are you doing, Jack? He's yelling back at you through the watch.
Just a little evasive driving practice. Nothing to worry about.
you hear like a little hyperventilation through the other end of the watch as he's imagining what you've gotten yourself into. Cool.
So with a truck like this, you can't really do much cornering at speed.
Yeah, bits of it are falling off as you're pulling off these maneuvers. I'll add.
And I think what happens is that some of those bits actually fall off and give the Jeep that's following us flat tires.
Nice. Accidental caltrops.
Yes.
Skye, you're in the back, but you probably see that things are starting to go wrong when the door starts being like pulled open by one of these troops, and then Jack hits the gas. What do you do to make sure that you're able to get away clean here?
Oh, that's a good question.
And this is just adding to the montage. I'm not going to make you make a roll for this because
okay, yeah.
So we already had a strong hit on that last roll.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I imagine that there's like a Russian holding on to an open back door, and I go over and I grab the door, and he looks at me like, "Oh, like it's you, like you're gonna help me like get on board," and then I kick him.
Great. So he just goes flying.
And then he goes, safely flying. He's a mook. And I close the door, and I move back to I move to the front of the back part, and I'm just like slamming on the metal, like telling Jack, like, what the fuck are you doing? But and
like Brant is shaking his head. He's saying, I knew we'd never get away. Master will find us all.
I haven't had a chance to talk to this guy.
Yeah, you can strike up a conversation.
Other than stabbing him with a knife.
Yeah, usually when you meet, he's usually like throwing you against stuff or dropping orders on your lap.
I went. So I tell Brent, I'm like, I went to all the trouble of getting him what he asked for, and then I did this. Christ, am I an idiot or what?
The apple?
Oh, I am the last to know about these things in this town. Yeah. It's the apple.
He points to the to Rosamund Thorne in her hospital bed. He needed that for her.
What does he think? And I pull it out. This will do.
And Brent's staring at it, right? Like this is it's a golden apple, and his master has been to great lengths to get one of these, and he says, "A cure."
A cure.
He just nods solemnly.
Maybe he'll trade me the ring if I promise to fix this woman. Maybe I can be out of this without death and destruction, without being broken over your knee in 3 different ways.
And the truck screeches to a halt in front of the hydroelectric plant.
We'll have to continue this later. And I like literally kick the doors open,
Nice.
start pulling stuff out, and I'm like directing people to where the entrance that we're going to use is, and blah 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 blah. Like,
Yeah, perfect. I mean, I think we I think we don't need to do any more rolling. Jack, you've gotten the you've brought the truck and its occupants to where Skye directed you. Now, are you unloading everything? You hanging on to the documentation you found for yourself? Like, what are you doing here? And we can just kind of we can just montage this a little bit because I think you powerfully exfiltrated that problem earlier.
you're muted.
I really must have a chat with Lena about her associates. Quite an invigorating evening, wouldn't you say, Skye? You're muted. You're muted.
Womp womp. So she says, she's like, yes, invigorated. Let's get this stuff moving.
Brant, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah, and he will assist such that you can, like, what's the setup you're going for, Skye? Like, you've got this woman in this contraption, and what, you're just like hooking it up to like whatever the like biggest generator or biggest source of electricity you can find is.
I'm just trying to find basically a as like clean as I can room that's big enough for all of us and all the stuff, and just making sure that she gets a solid energy supply, so that, like, because that's the danger that I found, right?
It is, yeah.
That she has to be hooked up. So I certainly don't have a place that'll do what this machine needs. So I just this is what I first thought of, was where I could go.
Yeah, I've never been inside a electric power plant, but
neither have I.
A quick Google reveals there are these big transformers and turbines. It's there's lots of stuff spinning, right? Like it's got some some strong motion going on. So yeah, this place connected to the waterways and the sewers, you like have sort of an intuitive sense of how to move around it, and you're able to find we'll say it's like a little kind of catwalk area, so
Sure.
there's, metal, like, but it is clean, and you're able to set this thing down and the catwalk holds, and then you loop up some cables as need be to attach it all, and you've got yourself a hospital room.
Yeah, right. Like at one point I'm climbing down a set of ladders with a cable around my shoulder and like a flashlight in my mouth, and like just getting this thing set up like it was a field unit. And I just start directing, like telling everybody where to put things and where to be or where not to be, and getting out the paperwork and just trying to make sure that everything is hooked up correctly and that she's taken care of. I'm being a doctor.
Yeah, absolutely. Doctoring. Jack, your wristwatch is buzzing intermittently.
I look at it, sigh, curse under my breath, and keep running cables.
Okay.
You can go. I'll take care of this.
Are you sure?
Well, I've got Brant here. I can't imagine anything's going to happen.
That's true, and he's probably more useful than I am in terms of lifting heavy things.
Do what you need to do. You got us here. I can't believe how you did it, but you got us through the checkpoint. So, like, I owe you. But I know you got to be other places.
I owe you. I called the doctor, and you answered.
Well, yes, absolutely. So, go. Get out of here.
And I speak into my watch. I'm on my way, Trip.
About goddamn time, Jack.
Trip, if you're going to curse at me, we really must teach you how to do it effectively.
So yeah, you're gonna head because he's gonna give you coordinates or remind you of the coordinates of this mansion in the British sector where he wants you to work secure the perimeter. And I think you talked to Timofey about helping.
I
out
was just going to say that I was going to stop by Checkpoint Midnight and pick up Timofey because he'd been asking for purpose and direction, and it's like, well, come along on this.
I think we had kind of a conversation to that effect. So he'll meet you there. And we'll see, the two of you, I guess, patrolling. I mean, how do you the task is secure the perimeter. There's a sort of suggestion from Trip that they're worried about hostile parties, hostiles approaching the party. How do you approach doing that?
Is this the same party Emilie's at?
Of course it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think mostly what I'm looking for is just the weird, the strange. Anyone that Joske might want to kill, for example. Because I at this point, are we really worried about the average garden variety spies and operatives wandering around Vienna? Or are we just like concerned about, well, the undead, the unseemly lucky, the weird.
Undead and the unseelie.
There you go.
That's the name of this episode.
Oh, that is good. Yeah. And Timofey's on board with that too. He's all business, right? Because he's got to prove he can be a professional about this, but he's clearly like, jittering with excitement to be part of a real mission. Be kind of.
Would you say that the atmosphere is almost electric?
Heyo. And the first hint of something strange is that you hear hoofbeats down one of these dark streets. But we're going to cut away from that and check in. Emilie, you just landed in the basement with a surprised Lady Aurelia Felkirk, and it sounds like people upstairs may have heard that something strange was going on over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up on my feet, take the knife out, and put it to her throat.
She wrinkles her nose. She says, "A spy and an assassin. My nephew has no taste."
Frankly, I rate Ambrose's taste above yours. The medieval armor was quite a touch, but everything else, at least Ambrose likes living things.
What are you waiting for?
I think Emilie's just kind of like staring and no protests, no pleading for your life. Is that all you're gonna say? Come on, you must want some famous last words. What do you want to be remembered by?
If you were planning to just put this knife in me, I'd already be dead. So spit it out.
Not even curious about, well, I suppose a lot of people want you dead. You're kind of annoying. I guess people are impatient enough to not wait for old age to take you.
As you're doing this, there's like a pulse in your dagger, right? Because this is the shadow edge dagger that Victoria gave you, and you hear like a whisper of Victoria's voice in your head saying, Quit stalling, my love. Do it. So I'm gonna say she's exerting her leverage, and she's got she's got one on you. So she's gonna say you cannot you cannot weasel out by giving her leverage on someone else. So what do you do, Emilie?
I have so much leverage. I can just talk to Ambrose about this globe of ancient winters, I suppose. I think like Lady Falkirk just being like being this defiant. She's really not letting Emilie like off easily. I was trying to go for Emilie's like cruel release, but I don't think she's taking it. So
toy with your prey before sealing their fate. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I think just because Emily's frustrated, she's gonna swing the knife and just make a cut on Lady Falkirk's cheek.
Like a shallow cut on her cheek. Yeah, you hear her like draw her breath, and she's clearly like kind of like, you know, like tensed, ready for you to like kill her when you lifted the knife. But you know, then like, you know, instead like opens her eyes and you see just like a little trickle of blood going down her cheek. And she says, "And what was that supposed to accomplish?"
I'll make another cut. I have had the good fortune of never having died. And I don't think you have either. I don't think you're special. I don't think you're not Fae. You're not a child of night. You're not undead. You're not some water spirit. You're just some old, rich wannabe. My only wish in this world is that I don't grow up to be like you. Because for everything that you tried to do, everything you wanted to get out of life, you're going to die alone in this dusty basement. All you're going to be is a lesson for me. A lesson of what not to be. And I think she's going to do it before she lets Lady Falkirk answer.
You just killing her?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the Shadow Edge dagger to do it.
Yeah.
As she slumps to the ground, you hear a whisper of Victoria again saying, "Well done." And like the shadow of the dagger kind of like flickers up your arm for a moment.
Is Constance with me?
There's a faint little buzzing from where do you put a ladybug when you're all dressed up for a fancy ball? Is she in your purse?
Yeah. God, I probably should have talked to her before I did this. It's too late. I'm not gonna take it back.
There's a faint sort of despairing buzzing from inside of your purse, like of a conscience giving up.
I'll give you the Skye after tonight. It's not your fault.
And you hear voices from up above. Someone saying, "Your ladyship, we're all waiting for you."
I'm gonna open the door. I'm kidding. I could. There's blood on this dagger. So I'm gonna try to open the door to outside.
Okay, just try to make your way out of the mansion then.
God, I didn't even think about Constance until after I did it. Now I feel really bad. Um,
I'm gonna say that. Oh, so you're drawing a door to try and make your way out. Is that the case?
yes. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna say that this is a roll with disadvantage because the various wards around the mansion are mostly still up, right? 'Cause she caught you while you were in the middle of lipsticking one up. So you're fighting against the supernatural defenses of the mansion as you do this.
Is there any way that anybody can assist with this?
Do you want to assist?
I don't know if you can, because you are outside, guarding.
Nobody knows I'm there.
Emilie's inside, pursuing her own mission.
Okay. Just asking.
No, good to check, but I think she's on her own this time.
Well, so
I rolled a 10.
I know Emilie. Okay, then. Never mind.
Sorry. Even with a disadvantage, I rolled a 4 and a 6 and a 5.
Okay. Yeah, you make yourself a door, and it'll let you out, right? You're just on like the wall of the basement, able to draw a door, and when you open it up, you find yourself stepping out of like a nearby building, so you're out of the mansion entirely. Is that kind of what you were going for?
Yeah, I think I do feel bad that I'm stepping out while everyone is just making it to the party. Can I can the building be just nearby so at least I can see Jack patrolling? Maybe?
Sure. Yeah. Nearby enough that you can see Jack and Timofey on their patrol. Probably Timofey spots you, right? You've had now a non-antagonistic conversation with him, but there's still a part of him that's your arch nemesis, so he looks a little suspicious as you just appear there, right?
Probably got some blood on me. I've got a dagger.
I mean, have you sheathed the dagger, or you're just holding it?
I think Emilie's shell shocked, or looks like she's still really can't believe what she did. If I remember correctly, in their previous that Urban Shadows thing, I don't think she ever actually killed anyone.
That's new.
Yeah, I don't think she's ever killed anyone.
So how's she taking it? Can we? You're saying is she visibly shell shocked, or is she keep?
I think she's muttering to herself, kind of partially to Constance and partially to herself. She's just saying. I think she's trying to make sense of it, and the gist is that she gave Skye the apple. That means she doesn't have any avenue for keeping what Victoria gave her, so she might as well throw her out to Victoria. That's how she's trying to justify the Constance and to herself.
Got it. Joske, I want to check in with you. Why is it that Yelena Kosakova knows you and wants you dead?
So here's what I'm thinking. I think, and tell me if this fits with the character as we've sort of established her, and I especially want to make sure, Skye, you're cool with this because she's your handler. But I think maybe a while ago, like 49, 50, right? So a bunch of years ago, not a huge number, but shortly after the war, well, more than shortly after. Actually, maybe even earlier
before
than
the
that,
war,
right? Let's say after the war, but right after the war. We got involved in some kind of op. And I think this was maybe even my first encounter with the Nightmare Elves. I don't think I even quite knew what they were yet. And I was just like along for the I think no. I mean, this is good. I was flirting with Soviet
Right.
communism,
Through all these
international
ideologies.
socialism, right? Right. Yeah. And so like at this point, like this is where I was. It was like, say late 46. And where like, so I'm like 19, maybe 20. And she's probably older and she hasn't aged a day. Right. And and this is another one I think died. Right. She died or I think she died. But what happened that I do not know, is that we were sort of like we thought we were mopping up Nazis after the war, but there was like the edge of this conspiracy, and she made a deal with the nightmare elves and the Nazis, to so that she wouldn't go over to death, right? And this is how she
cheated death.
How she's cheated death. By Skye, I want to make sure you're cool with. I mean, she may not be like completely compromised, but she's at least somewhat compromised by
having made that
Nazis.
Deal with the devil.
I want to make sure.
Skye, does that work for you?
I just want to make sure that.
Oh yeah, I love like tragic figures, and so I always play them. So having one psychotic scientist as a handler and the other handler being a Nazi, sure.
Right. So I think spot on. So I think the reason she wants me dead is like
because you're following the trail of this conspiracy.
Exactly, and so that right, but I'm not aware of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not aware that she's on that side. This is just my day for seeing my comrades I thought were dead.
Yeah. So you brush past Hardcastle, who's still kind of like fuming a little bit from having to let you in, right? As Yelena says, so good to be reunited, and like offers you a hand.
Yeah, I take her hand and I brush my lips against it and I say, as charming as you were in my youth, you haven't aged a day. And here, I never thought I'd see you again.
Yeah, she smiles. She says, I'm so glad the Noble Order has had the good taste to invite you. Come, I hear the festivities are about to begin.
How did you survive that? And I follow her and I ask, how did you? I thought those fuckers had mowed you down.
Oh, they did. But I'm sure you've met others in our line of work who've come back from worse.
One or two. Well, this city never ceases to surprise me. And this time it's a pleasant surprise.
And at that point, the poison starts to take effect.
What do I feel?
Probably your lips like tingle a little bit as it's kind of working its way down. Would you roll take serious harm for me?
Sure. Oh dear. I think just so you know, I'm like, well, no, not yet. Let's wait till after this roll.
How much stress? You just have one stress.
I just have one. That is a 9, so not fantastic.
Yeah, so on a 7 to 9, you take your licks. Choose one from the take serious harm list.
I'm gonna mark stress. I'm gonna mark 2 stress.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as I'm doing it, I'm going to shout. You're with them, aren't you? They turned you. They're all against. I should have known. No one comes back from that without their help. And I'm making a huge scene.
Yeah, accusing someone of conspiring against you, it sounds like.
Can I also ask a question?
What's the question?
So, does unmask the monster, do I use that against the members of the conspiracy when in the fiction I know and other people don't? or can I sort of like declare her a nightmare elf with this power, with that move?
Oh, fascinating.
Right? Does it work like gotta stop meeting like this, or is it more like this is a tool I have against like fictional, like when we already have the fictional positioning that we know this person is a monster.
I think it's kind of it's more the latter, though. Like, if it's like a plausible borderline case, we can talk it through.
So now I think this is a plausible borderline case. I wanted the sort of general question, but here I think this is actually a plausible borderline case where, like, we've established that they brought her back from the dead. We don't really know how.
Right.
Right. If you want to say no, I'm not.
No, it works. There's some mark on her, right? Like even if like the woman is still in control, she's been touched by these nightmares.
Right. Maybe I smell like as I didn't catch it at first because it's so faint, but as I bent down to kiss her, I smelled that to kiss her hand. I caught a faint whiff of what did I say? Coriander was the smell.
I think you said caraway.
Caraway, yes, it was caraway. That's right.
Yeah. So like you like she like has drawn you into like the like central like ballroom of the mansion because you're making a big scene. So like the others are like staring at the two of you now as you start doing this. Yeah.
Yeah. So like as I was making that denunciation, which I think hits paranoid.
Yeah. So are you paranoid if they really are out to get you?
I think so, but it's up to you. The thing is that they're always really out to get me. So,
are you taking? So from hitting that, are you taking an XP or reducing your stress?
Reducing stress. So I took 1 stress instead of 2.
One stress instead of 2. That's fair. Yeah, and like all around it looks like everyone's gathered here. There appears to be like some. A body laid out on a table covered with a shroud, and like people are all gathered around it. But then as you come in and are like making this whole scene, people are like turning away from that, looking over at what's going on here.
Mm-hmm. And I roll plus dreamer.
Yeah.
This could have consequences for Skye also is the other thing.
Denounce a monster or monsters to their faces. Roll plus dreamer. On a hit, their disguise drops. On a 10+, it's down for good. On a 7 to 9, people just get a glimpse. On a miss, others see monsters where there aren't.
Right. If she's fully exposed, then that could mean that is a 7-9. So not fully exposed.
On a 7 to 9, people just get a glimpse. What? Yeah. So what is the way that someone who's made a deal with these beings is marked? Like you have some markings yourself because you got that kind of mark of white in your hair from night.
Yeah.
So kind of nightmare aura for a moment.
Well, I wanna link it in with Nazi iconography also.
Oh man.
Somehow.
Like iron eagle wings.
Yeah, I'm wondering, or even like a sort of hold on. There's that right that kind of like that image, that like classic. When I Google Iron Image Eagle, I just get some terrible movie from the 80s. Hold on. Yeah. Right. So it's that like iron eagle with its wings spread, right? So in the various different like Nazi emblems, it's gripping usually like a wreath with either the Iron Cross or a swastika. But this is on her shoulders.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like and it's perched there.
Yeah, perched there, wings outstretched.
Okay, yeah, and so like everyone who was like turned for a moment, seeing what was going on here, like some people are gasping, some people are starting to are like edging towards exits, and then like from the other side of the room, a voice you recognize, Joske, says, "Please, everyone, remain calm. I'm sure it's just an illusory side effect of the wonders we're about to demonstrate. And you see Jan Klassen, standing at the head of this table, like he's ready to show something to the assembled company. But at least some people have been rattled. Some people are starting to try to get away, and we may cut away there. From the actually. Let me just to give us more of a cliffhanger sting thing. I think Jan says, "Please, no, don't go away. You're about to witness a resurrection." As he pulls the shroud off to reveal the non seemingly alive body of that woman who went off the roof at the very beginning of this series. We said her name was Anna Seidler, and you know she's a fae in disguise, or that she's been taken over fully by the creatures from the other side.
I saw her recently in some dreams.
You did. Outside, Jack, Timothy, Emilie, the three of you notice each other, and then Emilie, you hear it too, hoofbeats, and kind of you crane round to see, and there is a massive fire-wreathed horse, a literal nightmare, galloping down the street. Skye, back at the back at your improvised hospital,
the ranch.
Yeah. You Brant suddenly sits up straight, and he says, "Rusalka, the doctor is coming, and he's bringing his army."
Oh shit!
And on that set of cliffhangers, I think we'll wrap it up for this evening. But first, end of session for each player character. Jack, any of the end of session options seem right for you? Where either you describe how your character's ideology or loyalty has been shifted, mark XP. Explain how you gained advantageous insight into a character you interacted with, gain leverage over them, or describe how another operative can tell you to take a bullet for them, remove 1 stress from them, and mark 1 stress yourself.
Really quickly, do you think I hit Die Hard by recruiting Brant?
Recruit others to pursue a lost cause. Yes, and you sort of recruited Skye too. So I feel like between those two, Die Hard happens.
Alrighty. I'll tell you this much. I'm a lot more loyal to Skye because when I called, she came running and she brought a truck. So I'm going to mark XP there.
Yeah.
And, by the way, Alexi,
Yes.
that's another level.
Oh man. Wow.
So I am going to open my Russian dossier.
Great. That's interesting. So as written with advancement, you have you could now choose play the factions against each other to manage to retire to safety. I feel like with 2 sessions left, we might kind of we might see if we have that as sort of in the chamber and then ready to go when you say the time comes. But you have the potential to choose that if you want, or of course to go on and become an asset for one side or the other if that's not how you want to go.
We'll figure it out.
And we'll see if your NKVD dossier helps you make a decision too. Emilie, any of these end of session moves seem appropriate for you?
Probably their ideology and loyalty has been shifted in some way. I'm trying to figure out what, but
I mean, you were not feeling super thrilled about
something.
The CIA at the end there, right? Because you feel like George Dixon didn't help you enough.
No, but yeah, definitely, it's the first one. I don't think she gained any much insight. Probably maybe with Skye, but I think given what happened at the end of the session, she's more focused on herself and what she did.
Yeah, no, big moment for Emilie here. A threshold being crossed. Skye, any of these end of session options seem appropriate for you?
I was going to say, explain how you gained advantageous insight. I was going to say into Dr. Thorne because I know more about what he's looking for, but it's not a character I interacted with.
Oh, I'll get Dr. Thorne's whole deal has been being this shadowy presence pulling the strings. Since you now have like his daughter in her her little pod here, like you definitely can say you've got leverage on him.
Okay, all right, I'll add it to my. I already had one. I don't remember how I got it, but I
think from interrogating one of his minions in the sewers at the end of the first season of this series. Gotcha. There's so much continuity, guys. There's so much continuity now.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Joske, also a dramatic set of moves for you. Anything jump out at you from end of session?
Yeah, I mean, I now know that Yelena Kosakova is a Nazi plant and a Nightmare Elf plant, and it's the same thing. And yeah, I definitely have leverage on her now, like real leverage. And she tried to murder me and failed.
That's a type of leverage,
So there was a whole she kind of gave away the game there. I guess she wasn't planning on failing.
Yeah, who knows? We'll see. We will see. No, wonderful choice, and amazing stuff happens when you roll Gotta Stop Meeting like this on literally every NPC, including a bear.
Can't wait to roll. We've got to stop meeting like this with the Danube. That might be my wish.
Now you're making me jealous.
Thank you all for playing tonight. We will pick up with this cliffhanger when we reconvene next week, same time, same station. Anyone who's been watching along, thanks so much. Stay safe out there, and see you next time, we hope.